All right. Welcome to the UX Brown Bag session. Today we have Priya Dalvi, who is a content designer in IBM, and she has also published a book. Welcome, Priya. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, Nikhil, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I hope you're doing great.
Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm also doing nice.
Thank you so much for your time today, especially on Saturday, and really appreciate your joining us to share some information about content design.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, Priya, we would like to understand. I think you are the first content designer I met so far in my 21 years of career. I never met a content designer. I was always aware about content writing, content writers, but I was never aware about content design. So I was curious to know what is content design and how's your content design journey so far?
Yeah, sure. So when you said I'm the first one, you met as a content designer. So many of us, like even if I tell my friends, I'm a content designer or I'm a technical writer, they would never understand what it is. So definitely this profile has evolved over time. So you wanted to know what is content design first, right? That was
Yeah.
the question,
Yeah.
right? Okay, not the journey. Okay, so content design goes far beyond traditional writing. So one part is the writing and the other part is the user experience, user centered, and the user research journey. So you combine everything and you get content design. So it is not just writing something just for the sake of writing and just publishing, but you have to also understand who are your users, what does he want, what are you trying to write about. So we have to consider all these things, and that's how you get content design. And definitely we'll talk more about it.
Sure. And if you would like to talk about your career journey, how you started your career in content design?
Yes, so I started. I think it's a very long story, but long story short, so I did my engineering information technology, and as soon as I pass out, I wanted to go in the line of software development or software testing. A mainstream profile,
Mhm.
and I'm basically from Goa, so I came to Pune looking for a job, and I started looking for a job, and I was not placed in my college, so I had to do that struggle. So I thought maybe meanwhile, I'm looking for a proper technical job. Let's do something else. So I uploaded my resume on Naukri, and I had this hobby of creative writing since school. So I wrote my hobbies as creative writing, and I had this qualification, Bachelor's of Engineering in Information Technology. I think Naukri matched those keywords, and it started giving me options for technical writing. Though for me, it was very new. I never, have heard what is this technical writing, and like, and I'm gonna start with technical writing as my first job. So I said, until I get a mainstream job, let's start doing technical writing. So that's how I started, and I think it was never planned. And even if you ask my colleagues or other technical writer friends or content designers, everyone has started like that. It was never planned, but they get into like accidentally or some other reason. So that's how I started, and since then I've been working as a content designer till now. So we have different synonyms. One is content designer, technical writer, information developer, then information engineer. So these are different titles we are known as.
So one spontaneous question came to my mind is that, so you applied for the job and you got the job, but did you learn something on the job which was required as a part of content design profile, or you already had those skill sets?
No, I did not had. The only thing I had was my interest in writing. Okay. So that was basically, like, but the creative writing part is totally different than the content design that, we do at corporates or any industries. Yeah. So I did not have any skills, but then on the job, I learned a lot of things. One was English, which, I don't even consider. I think every one of us knows basic English, but that is not even a part of the skills, I would say. But the other things, like understand the user experience, the user journey, doing the information architecture, taking the user on an end-to-end journey, end-to-end content journey. Those are the things I learned over this period of time as content designer.
Interesting. So you just talked about user-centered design and understanding users, so that
Yeah.
navigates us to the next question. So how content design plays a key role in delivering world-class user experience for a product or for service?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So the content design has elements to it. So one is it is a structured content. Okay. So we have something called as data. So data is Darwin's information architecture, so it has been defined such that, let's say you have a piece of content that you're writing and you have an overview for it, and you have a procedure that you want to, demonstrate to the user, and you have some data which is in a tabular form. Now you cannot mix all of these just in one page as it is. So each of these three categories has to be put in a different topic. So one is the concept topic, which will have the overview, okay, or the introduction of that particular topic. Then the how to, the procedure, that will go into a task topic. And the other information, like the tabular information, that will go into a reference topic. So the data based writing, it categorizes the information into these three parts. So it is quite structured, so this makes the user journey, smooth and a seamless experience. So I think there are a lot of tools which are supporting database. So there is Oxygen, there is Xmetal, Metcalf Flair. So and these days, structured writing is pretty much in trend, and no one is actually looking for the older tools which support unstructured writing. So I think that's the best part of content design. And also content design um, has to follow consistency, as in, you follow, every company has their own documentation standards, so you have to confirm by those language, style, terminology, so that there is not much cognitive load on the customer, and that gives them a seamless experience. So these are a couple of points, which content design focuses on.
Interesting. So you talked about
Yeah.
some tools. So I just wanted to ask, what are the skills, soft skills or technical skills required if someone would like to be a content designer?
Yeah, so basically, I'll start with the qualification. So qualification, if you're looking for a content design into a tech company or a software company, they'll always look for engineering or masters in any of the technical professions. And then it would be nice to have a certification in any of these tools that I mentioned, but I think it would be nice to have thing. And an added advantage would be to have inclination towards writing. Just in my case, it worked really well for me. And but it's okay to not have the certification also, because I never did any certification. But given the times, it's getting very competitive, though I think people should prefer getting a certification, and they are there, online. And Udemy also
Mhm.
covers a lot of courses.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So how a day in the life of content designer looks like in a
Oh
software
yeah.
company, maybe?
Yeah. So let's say for a software company, because I've always worked for
Mhm.
software
Mhm.
companies. So let's say I'm working on a fresh piece of content. So it's not that you directly start with content writing, but you first start understanding what is the need, who are the users, what is the product, who's going to use it. So first start understanding those details. Then you meet up with the SMEs, who are the smart subject matter experts, who could be developers, engineers, the product owners, the design team, research team. You meet with them and get everything that you can from them, because it's very hard to get their time again and again. So you get everything you want, and then you start writing. Even when you start writing, there are that happens in stages. One stage is that you start the information architecture. You first put everything, and then you try to jot down which point should come first, second, and all of that. So basically you jot down the user journey. That is what is called IA, information architecture. And then you start designing your content. Then happens the proofreading review. So first internally you get a peer review, and then you send to the stakeholders back, and they do the validation. And usually it's, I think it 2 or 3 rounds of to and fro happens to validate the content, and then it goes on the production. And I think that should be the last point. But then customer may also come up with any documentation errors, or if they haven't understood any procedure, they always give a feedback. So that comes back again, and then we start from point one again. So it's mostly an iterative process. So yeah, that's how a day looks like for a content designer.
Interesting. And so one question regarding technology, because now the technology is changing the way businesses are
Yeah.
run and products and services are designed. And artificial intelligence and particularly generative AI has been here for a while, and it is completely revolutionizing the way products and services are being designed, and it is impacting almost all the professions. So how do you
Yeah.
see content design profession on the landscape of AI, and what are the trends you see for 2024 in content design?
Yeah, yeah. I think it is definitely evolving. So most of the companies are trying to have their own generative AI app for content design. So nowadays, even Chat GPT is creating content for you. It's automated content. So I think it's a lot of help. So it will not replace content designers, but it will definitely fast track their work. So let's say you have a report or you have a big manual and you want to summarize it in one page. I think that's when the Chat GPT will help you automate content, and the designers can focus on the more complex procedure, the bigger task. So that's where it is helping. uh, Also in proofreading, editing, I think it helps a lot. I use it for my personal use, whenever if I am in doubt for a sentence, or any page I want to revise, get it revised, I think Chat GPT always helps me a lot. So proofreading, editing, reviewing, validating content is one uh, advantage for it. So I think it is evolving, and definitely in the coming years I will see all the content designers should be using their company's generative AI tools.
Hmm. So do you think content designers should also learn about AI tools, or get familiar, get themselves familiarized with these tools, or they should take any AI specific training to stay ahead in the competition?
I don't think any training is required, because if you say any generative AI tool, they're pretty easy,
Yeah.
because it just you ask a question and then it's making your life easy. So basically, it's asking a question to a friend or a mentor, and it will just give you answers. Even if you try, have a typo in your question, it will still understand. So I don't think so. But having the familiarity with writing question, asking prompts to get the best answers, I think it helps. Because for me, I use a lot of Chat GPT for my personal use, as a mentor or for English review and all that stuff. So it does help me to use, maybe it will help me to use any other AI tool. So I think it is a cherry on top if you have that knowledge.
Good. I think I'm good with my questions. Very interesting insights, and I learned a lot about content design today. Any additional thoughts you would like to share about content design profession before we wrap up the session?
So yeah, any other thoughts? I think if anyone, any one of you want to get into technical writing, content designing, you can apply for any of the companies, not just, the tech companies. You can apply for the entertainment companies, like Netflix is hiring. The other day I saw a profile called entertainment writer for Netflix junkie. So they are looking for, spiced up content, all of that. So if you don't have to be thorough about technical documentation, but you can always go into the other and entertainment companies also. So there's, and then there are social medias also. So all the companies, the startups, the healthcare, finance, they are also looking for social media contents. So they're looking for content designer very aggressively. So choose your domain where you like, and not just focused on IT or any of the other corporate banks, like companies, and definitely you can succeed in this profile.
So that means social media and OTT are opening up new
Yeah.
paradigm of jobs for content design professionals. Interesting.
Yes, yes, yes.
Great. I think thank you so much, Priya, for your time and sharing valuable information about content design. I personally learned a lot about content design, and I will continue to learn from you about content design. Thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate you spending time on Saturday for this UX brown bag session.
No problem, my pleasure, Nikhil. This was really a good opportunity to talk, and it's like a refresh for me.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Yeah, bye, Nikhil.
Thank you. Bye.